Hi, welcome to my kitchen. My name is Rachel and this is my daughter Anna, and today we're going to show you how to make rhubarb jam. Now this is a very, very simple recipe. All it is rhubarb and sugar. So it's just pure rhubarb jam with no pectin or anything else added to it. It's also known as stewed rhubarb, and you can use it as in a parfait or on top of ice cream, but my favorite way is spread on toast with butter in the morning. So let's get to it. So let's wash our rhubarb here. Just give it a little rinse. When you're cutting your rhubarb, you need to make sure you cut off both ends. On this side where the leaf was, and on this side here where the root goes down into the plant. Okay. And then if you have a wide piece like this, I like to just slice it in half. You don't have to do that, I guess, but it just makes it break down a little bit quicker. Into maybe 1/2 inch pieces, 3/4 inch. The size doesn't actually really matter as long as they're relatively consistent to what you're doing. Once we've got some rhubarb, we're going to measure out 4 cups. So when you're making rhubarb jam, you just need to know that the ratio is 4 cups of rhubarb to 1 cup of sugar. I usually make it in really large batches, but today we're just going to do 4 cups of rhubarb, 1 cup of sugar. If you keep that ratio consistent, you're going to have great jam. Okay. So once we've got 2 cups in here, I'm going to dump it in my pot. Fill it up one more time. Okay, so we've got a nice full measuring cup. That's perfect, and Anna can dump it in the pot. We can add 1 cup of sugar. We're going to give it a stir. The sugar is going to pull the juices out of the rhubarb, so it's quite nice if you have time to let this sit for at least 15 minutes before you start cooking it. Because what that's going to do is it's just going to pull the juices out, and you won't have sugar on the bottom like that. That's easy to burn. So let's let this sit for about 15 minutes before we start cooking. Okay, so once 15 minutes or so has gone by, you can see that the sugars have just started pulling the juices out of the rhubarb. So we can start cooking confident that it's not going to burn really, really easily. So let's take it over to the stovetop. So I'm going to turn my stovetop on to just above medium heat. You want to keep a close eye on it. This isn't something you just leave on the stove. So we're going to stir it quite regularly, and it's going to start to cook. So once it's starting to simmer gently, it usually takes about 15 minutes for the rhubarb to break down and cook until it's relatively thick. Of course, if you're making a massive pot of it, it's going to take a little bit longer. So the rhubarb is really starting to break down now. We're getting pretty close. One way that you can test your jam is you can just take just a normal kitchen spoon, a stainless steel spoon, and put it in there, and you can see if it's starting to congeal. And actually we're getting very close. See how it just hangs on the spoon before it drops back in? We're getting pretty close. So I'm going to let it just cook a little longer, just because I like it nice and thick, but it's getting really, really close. So you can see when it's simmering, when the bubbles change like this and it starts to splatter and kind of pop a little bit, then you're good. Your jam is ready. We'll do our spoon trick one more time here. And just see, as I tip it, see how when it just cools in the air, see that drop, how it's hanging like that? That's exactly what you're looking for. So our jam is ready. So we're going to push it off to the back of the stove or put it on a little cooling rack and let it cool down. So once your jam is cooked and cooled, you can just store it in airtight containers, either glass jars or my favorite, or you can put it in a freezer-safe plastic container. And you can keep it in your fridge for a couple weeks, or you can keep it in your freezer for a few months. And this is awesome on your toast in the morning or your sandwich in the afternoon. This is great on biscuits. It tastes really good on top of ice cream or in a yogurt parfait with a bit of granola on top. So use your imagination. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos.